Good morning, everybody. Definitely need a coffee this morning. Oh. So, sometimes there's a time that you have to come up and you have to either do things with integrity or not. And I think I'm at one of those points. So let me explain what's going on. Many of you know I'm a travel agent. We don't have a lot of business right now. But I've had some meetings with some cruise lines and that about restarting and what to do and looking forward to next year. I usually arrange a couple groups a year, and I decided to try and do an extra group next year. I had a cruise line reach out to me about this special cruise and wanted my business, and it sounded good. It was a cruise line that I haven't tried in a while. I wanted to give it a shot. The cruise sounded really nice. The ship sounded really nice. It all sounded very, very positive and everything, and it still is. There's nothing wrong with the cruise liner. Don't get me anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the cruise. There's nothing wrong with the cruise line. But they work differently than the other cruise lines I'm used to working with. And normally when you're booking a group, you will say, okay, I want this rate for this many balcony cabins, this many mini suites, this many inside cabins, etc. Give me a group rate on those prices, and then you just book them anywhere on the ship. They'll give you the lowest category, but if it says, for instance, most cruise lines will throw in free room upgrades. Well, what the free room upgrades means, you can go from an aft balcony cruise ship to a mid-aft balcony cruise ship at no extra cost. That's kind of the thing. But in this group's case, what they do is they assign you particular areas of the ship, not just balconies, just areas of the ship. And so I got my groups the other day and I started to book them, and I started to notice a trend. And it seemed that no matter what category of cabin that I was looking at, it wasn't the cabin I would ever choose for my clients. It would be, oh, here's a list of cabins you have on for this category. Oh, they're all directly under the pool. Not the greatest place to be on the ship. Okay, well, what about this other category? I said, let's go into that one. Oh, they're all directly beside the elevators. They're either at the elevators at the front of the ship, or they're at the elevators at the rear of the ship. But they're directly beside the elevator area. Myself, it doesn't bother me. On this kind of ship, it's not a noisy. We're not expecting a noisy group on this ship, so I don't think that's a big problem. But it's still a problem. If there's other empty cabins on this cruise, just down the hall, away from the elevators, I want to be able to book my group into them. And I can, but I can book them at a higher rate, not my group rate. That's the kicker. And so I could just say nothing and just make my group. We're talking a fair amount of people here. Anywhere from 50 cabins to 100 cabins. For the cruise lines, it's anywhere from $750,000 to $1 million worth of business for that cruise line. And but I'd rather just not do it than book people in cabins I know that they might not be happy with, no matter how much you might save on that particular cabin. I mean, you're going away for it's a 15-day cruise. It's a long cruise. You're going to spend a lot of time in your cabin because it's not a lot of ports, so you're going to be on the ship a lot. You're going to want to enjoy the cabin you're in. You're not going to want a noisy cabin. You're not going to want, the worst location on the ship. You're going to want a good cabin for this type of cruise. And I kind of said, thank you, but no thank you. I'd rather not do this. I'd rather not book people into something I don't think they're going to be happy with. So now I have a phone number of the group's coordinator to give a call. And they say maybe they'll change your categories and what it is. So I have a list of categories of the cabins where I want them on the ship to be part of my group. I don't even care if it's the same discounted price. I just want them to be part of my group in the section. I don't want to have to book 3 different types of packages for the same amount of people. So it's been a long haul to get this one organized. And normally when I want to organize something, it's a matter of a phone call saying, can you set this up? Can you set up this reduced deposit sale? And I want it to start on this day, and bam, it starts. And it's there. And it hasn't been that way for this one. The group wasn't even set up in time for when I said I was going to say, and I gave them a lot longer time to do it than I normally do. So it's not off to a good start, but I know, what do you guys think out there? Am I doing the right thing? Because now, put yourself in my shoes. I'm a travel agent who hasn't made a single dime from travel in a year. I laughed at that, but it's true. As all travel agents, pretty much every travel agent out there is doing the exact same thing. Nothing. $0. But we still have to pay our fees. We still have to pay for all the things that we have to, by law, I have to have a landline phone every month that I get no phone calls on. But it's by law here in Canada. So I'm paying $65 a month for a phone I never use. So those bills are still there. Those bills are all still there. The fees for being a travel agent, all that stuff is all still there. And I know a lot of people would be tempted to say, well, you can make up a lot of this money you've lost next year. Just do the group. Just do it. But I don't want to ever get to that point. I don't want to be that guy who's just doing this for money and that's all I'm doing it for. If I was doing that, you'd hear me promoting every 10 seconds on my channel, I'm a travel agent and call me at this number. Or you'd hear me, just trying to sell it whatever I can. You know what I mean? And I'm doing this because I enjoy doing this. And when I do a group, I love doing the group because I love interacting with everybody, and we get together, we watch shows, we're at the dining together, I'm walking from table to table and we're talking to everybody, and it's a lot of fun. But can you imagine if you do a group like this and you have 10%, even just 10% of everybody doesn't like their cabin? First of all, it's not good word of mouth. It's people coming off your cruise saying they had a bad time. And cross my fingers, so far, I get tons of people who want to come back on the group cruises, not are angry about the group cruises. They've had fun. They want to do it again. They enjoyed themselves. That, to me, is the most important thing out of everything. And so, I just might be turning down, $1 million worth of business today, as a matter of fact. So I'll let you know how the call goes. But I just think it's more important to have integrity in your life than to be searching for the almighty dollar all the time. I'm thankful I'm not at that point, that I have to be that I can be discerning, and I can operate with what I think is integrity. So, it's just, it's just one of those days when I started booking this cruise and I said, what's going on here? I would never choose this cabin. And then the next one, I would never choose that cabin. And I go, I would definitely never choose this cabin. So yeah, there you go. That's my decision I have to make today. Do I do this group? Are they going to give me the cabins I'm looking for? If they don't, then I'm probably going to be letting you know in the next couple of days that I just threw away $1 million worth of business.